Yes, were Mark Rudd. He was a prominent leader in the late 60s and a key figure in the organization's efforts to mobilize students and build mass movements against the Vietnam War. They considered him an extremist and targeted him, doing all of these same surveillance tactics, wiretaps. They intercepted his mail, had people informing on him.
Can't believe what is I guess looking for letters or what? Why are they intercepting his mail?
Probably
I guess
because they
letters.
had communication back and forth and wanted to know what they were
Hmm.
doing.
They just mail it to their houses?
How else did you communicate then? I guess the phone, but wiretaps. Like, there was no. Even if it was in code, they probably still just wanted to see what he was getting and then
Hmm.
they'd send it along. Or
Yeah,
not.
that's true. I'm just thinking, I mean, yeah, obviously very different time, but I just all my mail is junk
Right. Back
at
then,
this
people
point.
used
Like
it for real things.
now they can just look at all their texts,
Right.
which is worse.
Yeah. Another
But yeah.
notable person was Bernadine Dorn. She was a leader of the SDS. She was targeted. She was on their 10 most wanted list.
Wow. What? That's
I
crazy.
know. They're control freaks. Like,
Yeah.
how insecure do you have to be about your position within the, like, I guess within society, that you have to go through this much effort to shut down new ideas?
Yeah. Very sad. I mean, it's happening now still.
Right.
Except I feel like because of all the information that you can get at this point, then it's like harder to cover up.
Right.
But yeah.
Tom Hayden was the third one. He was a founding member of the SDS and played a key role that were like basically he also mobilized students and built a mass movement against the Vietnam War and was like very involved in the anti-war movement, and they fucked up his life too.
Wow.
They also targeted Native American activists. God, like, could they be any worse?
Just don't. I just don't. I mean, anyone that's not white
I know.
male, like,
Ugh,
I don't know. I
conservative
don't
white
know.
male.
Right, yes. Yeah, that's like, I think of like, obviously there's a shooting every day, but like a lot of the times, or sometimes at least, people will be like, yeah, I reported them on Facebook like 3 weeks ago and because they said this stuff. And like, they don't do anything
I
about this, but
know,
they're going
but
after shit like this.
right,
Like, they're like, oh, sorry, missed that one, but we're gonna go after all the activists for change.
right.
Oh, I hate it.
I know. And I also have a list of um, Native Americans that were targeted because they deserve their own section too. Leonard
Yeah.
Peltier I think that's how you say it. I went to high school with a Peltier, so
Oh.
might also be Peltier. I guess it depends on how you
Oh,
want to pronounce it. But the girl
yeah.
I knew said Peltier, so I'm gonna go with that. Uh, he was probably the most well-known Native American who was targeted by COINTELPRO, um, and he was involved in the organization's efforts to defend indigenous rights and sovereignty because Native American reservations are sovereign nations.
Yeah.
And he was arrested in connection with the killing of two FBI agents on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota and was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms in prison. A lot of people argue that he was framed by the FBI.
Ugh. I'm sure he was.
I know, I think so too. I have no doubt in my mind he was. He was either
Right.
framed or he was acting in self defense. I don't know anything about the
Right.
case, but
I mean, I feel like I've heard that before, but I'm not sure about anything. But like, I also don't understand how you're sentenced to two life terms. Like, I get, like, oh, maybe you took two lives, so we're giving you two life terms, but you only have one life.
Right.
Like,
I think it's
I
because
don't
in
know.
America, a life term means you could get out on parole after a certain amount of time. But if there's
Oh,
two, you would have to
so you have to
double.
wait double?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might make more sense.
Because a lot of people who are sentenced to life get out after like 10 to 15 years for good behavior and then turn around
That's
and kill
true.
someone else.
Yeah, but okay.
The next is Anime Aquash. She was an activist and she was murdered in 1975, and the FBI later admitted that it had placed Aquash on a security index and monitored her movements as part of its Cointelpro program. The circumstances surrounding her death are pretty controversial, and there's a lot of speculation, and her murder is widely viewed as a tragic example of the violence and repression faced by Native American activists during this time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
Why? Ugh.
I almost think that those two could be their own episodes, and I'm adding them to the list because I'm interested.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, also like, aren't there so many Native Americans right now going missing? Like, especially, I thought it was like teenage girls.
Yes, and no one cares,
Like,
and it's really sad.
yeah,
I
right.
think it
And
like
like,
in South
what is happening to
Dakota,
them?
in the Dakotas, a lot go missing, and everyone just says, "Oh,
Yeah,
they ran away." But I've heard,
right.
so there's like a port in Superior, Wisconsin that goes into the like Lake Superior and that borders Canada, and I think there's also access to the ocean through the
Oh,
Great Lakes.
yeah, I think
Um,
so.
and I think I have been told, and I do not have a reference for this, and I've never actually confirmed it, but they say that like that's the biggest port for human trafficking in the country because it's so like small, but then the Dakotas are only maybe 14 hours from there, so it's not, maybe not even. So it's not a long trek to get people from the Dakotas to Superior and then out of the country and never seen again.
Um, yeah. Why do people even need to do that?
I don't know. I really
I
don't.
don't. Yeah, I don't get it at all. Like,
Like, who
I
are
don't
their
know.
customers?
Right.
Who is buying people?
I don't know. I mean, most of them are like for sexual stuff,
Yeah,
right?
but
But like,
who gets a
or what? I
prostitute?
don't
Who is
know.
that fucking lame?
Right. I right. I feel like shouldn't we have moved past this by
Right.
now?
Like, are you serious? You're telling me you're so desperate that you have to pay someone? I just don't get it. Like, I
Yeah,
don't understand.
that's how AI could help.
Yeah. Another notable person was Vernon Belcourt. Vernon Belcourt was a prominent Ojibwe activist and a Native American rights leader who was also targeted by COINTELPRO, and they viewed him as a key leader and monitored his activities and movements throughout the 70s. But he remained an outspoken advocate for Indigenous rights and sovereignty until his death in 2007. So he survived.
Nice. That's good. At least someone continued, I guess.
Yeah.
They didn't get everyone.
No, they did not. And then there were anti war protesters, which we kind of talked about with the SDS, but Muhammad Ali was targeted because he had such a big like following of people, and he
Oh,
was very
yeah.
outspoken against, he refused to be drafted during the Vietnam War,
Oh.
so that couldn't happen. And John Lennon was also
Oh,
an
wow.
anti-war activist, and oh, notice he died
Yeah,
was assassinated.
that's true.
Interesting. Um, but they considered him to be radical and a potential threat to national security and engaged in a campaign of surveillance and harassment against him and his wife. They
Oh, well.
started being interested in him in 1971 when he first became involved with the anti-Vietnam protests, and they continued targeting him until he died in 1980.
Wow.
And in 1983, it was revealed that they had a 281-page file on him and Yoko, and it included information about their political activities, personal lives, and even sex lives.
That's so gross.
Right?
Like, what the fuck? Wow. Dude, this is tax dollars go to this.
I know we paid for this, and we're continuing to pay for it.
Yeah, like really? You gotta watch their sex lives? Like, no. Whoever fucking reported that should be in jail.
I know.
Ugh. My God.
And they literally listened to every word they said, I'm pretty sure. Like, that
Oh
was
my
the
God.
level of this whole
For like nine
program.
years.
Yeah, they listened, like, they had someone listening on a wiretap to every phone conversation they ever made.
Oh my
And
God.
they were paying people to do that.
Yeah, that's a job where they're being paid for, and they probably have a pension.
They definitely
That's
have a
also our
pension.
tax dollars. I know,
They
yeah, like
100% of it. We're probably still paying them.
I know if they're still alive, they're retired wiretap listeners.
Yeah, if you know anyone.
Man, I wish like at the beginning of the year or something, every year you could like check the box for where you want your taxes to go, your specific
Well,
taxes.
no
So like
one
say you
would.
care about school or whatever. No, people could decide other
Yeah, but there's
stuff.
some stuff that no one would vote for.
Like what?
Um, I
Let
feel
me
like
opt out of certain
no
things.
one would want to vote for like Congress people's salary.
Well, then they don't get a salary.
Yeah, but if they did
No
more,
Congress. I don't know. Or maybe like you have to have certain ones.
if you had to pick something, people would, and if you didn't, then your money got put wherever the budget
Like
needed.
yeah, your money got divided evenly if you picked nothing or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like you have to pick, say you have to pick like five things out of a list of like 10 or 15. Like you have to pick at least five
Right, then
that you care about.
I think it could work. Because everyone has a little bit different priorities.
Right. I think it could work. Or maybe don't have, like maybe do 50%. Like there's 10 and you have to pick five. I don't know. You could figure this out.
I also feel like Congress people should have to do annual reviews where we vote on how well we think they did
Oh,
addressing our
yeah.
concerns, and then their pay was based on a multiplier of that score.
Oh, yeah, like a rate your professor, but for
Yes!
Congress. Yeah. That would be good.
Accountability.
That should be a review site. Review your congressman or
Yes!
woman. Yeah. Let's make it.
Have you seen on TikTok the North Carolina, one of the representatives? What is his
From
name?
North Carolina?
Yes. He's like,
What'd he do?
he's younger and he's getting on TikTok
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
being blatantly honest about
Yes.
politics, and I just feel like they're gonna kill him or wreck his life.
Jeff Jackson?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I've seen him pop up on TikTok.
I just can't tell if he's being honest or if he's like a plant. Like, did they say, okay,
Oh.
we don't have a hold on TikTok, so let's Let's get this guy. He's younger. Put him on TikTok. Be our mole.